There we go. There we go. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I see you. I see
Yeah,
you.
it's just now the
Looks like
computer's
a
not wanting to like go to the. There we go. Okay. Has that. Now I got the notification, so I can go share this out to everyone
who's
on the
I'm
Twitter.
fine. What are you wearing?
It's Chelsea Green.
Oh, Chelsea Green. Okay, it's like I've never seen you wear a white shirt before.
Well, it's not a white shirt. It's a pink shirt, first of all.
Oh, oh, okay. Oh, I couldn't tell because of the lighting.
It's a pink shirt, first of all.
Okay, now I can see the pink. Okay,
Yeah.
it looked white from here.
And you'll find out how relevant and how much I'm relating to Chelsea a little bit later on in this episode.
Yeah.
And hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, joined on the other end of the tin cannon string by Easy.
Hello, everybody. We're
And
halfway there. We're halfway through 2021. We got this,
we're halfway
I
there.
think.
No,
Whoa.
no,
No,
no.
we're living on a prayer. And we have CJ representing Team All Zero. I meant to hype her up last week, but YouTube looked like they were going to shut down my stream because of bad connection, so I had to kind of rush the finish. But she's here, and she'll be joining us now. Nick unfortunately could not make it, but we got CJ, and she will be a new regular cast member on the Mark crew.
New member initiative.
Just trying to save
I
the
don't
world
know
from the
any.
geeks singing.
Yeah, but everybody
Could be
hurts
worse. You could be the
sometimes.
one being. It could be worse. You could be the one stuck to drink bubbly by the time Full Gear arrives.
Yeah, well, no, that's a blessing because that's delicious. We're at 156 now, folks. It means we only need 44 more to make easy.
Let's
Drink the
do
bubbly.
199 on November 7th.
I will make 5 new accounts.
Yep.
Subscribe to myself.
Cheater. I will check
I
the
will cheat.
subscribers.
I will cheat in order to get you to drink the bubbly. But if you've never seen this show before, this is the Just Us Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I enjoy watching wrestling with these folks. Met one at All In. Met one locally. We love watching wrestling. We love talking wrestling. We love sharing our love of pro wrestling with each and every one of you out there. However, just like each and every one of you out there, our opinions are that of just any other wrestling fan because at the end of the day, we're not insiders. We are actually outsiders. And I don't mean Hall and Nash. We are not wrestlers. We
Oh,
are just
I was
marks.
thinking the book, The Outsiders.
I mean,
I want to be soda pop.
I read that in 8th grade and was very, very disappointed that it had nothing to do with Hall and or Nash.
Yes, because we were all waiting for that one movie for Tom Cruise and Patrick Swayze to be Kevin Nash and Scott Hall.
I mean,
Thank God that has never happened.
I
But
mean,
I would totally
I
love.
would have watched that actually.
I was actually about to say I would totally love to see a biopic of just like the day of Bash on the Beach and just all the reactions that everybody has about Hogan. Hogan, the third member.
Yeah,
He's the third
CJ,
member.
what do you think of Hulk Hogan and that idea?
Really? This is what we're going to start with?
Well, we gotta get it out there. We gotta get it established. You like, there's what you like and what you don't like. What do you
I
not
am
like?
not a Hulkamaniac. I am not a
Ooh.
Hulkamaniac. I don't want to have fun with my family and friends.
That's apparently what Hulkamaniacs do,
Mm.
according to the song.
I'm not a Hulkamaniac because I never grew up with Hulk Hogan, but I still got some love for him.
Oh, I
Minus
did.
the stuff that he has done in the past, but that's
Oh, yeah.
beside the point.
Yeah, but so
Besides, I'm a real Canadian, man.
Pat Patterson came out to Real American for years. But anyway, so we're gonna
No
start the
good for
show
Pat Patterson.
with something that I never thought I'd be starting one of these streams with, and that is
None of us thought this too.
Yep. I got Michelle in the house. What's up? And we're going to talk GCW. I never thought the day would come that I would be talking about GCW on this here program.
Because somehow they went viral for something, and even I'm still shaking my head. This is really news, and this, I mean, we're gonna chat about this. Might as well.
Well, to be fair, I'll give as much of it as I'm not a GCW fan. I will say they did this whole storyline very, very well. And while, I'm not a fan in the slightest of half of what was involved in this storyline, I thought it was done well. And you're going to hear a lot more ranting about that a little later on in the broadcast. But yeah, let's the build up with Cardona coming in and attacking Nick Gage while covered up and acting like he was Moxley because everybody thought it was Moxley, and then having Nick Gage interrupt his panel at Cardona's panel at a convention to, really, it really was a very good, very well built sort of us versus them storyline with the GCW crowd, the grassroots death match, independent wrestling, no pretty, no muscle up sports entertainers, and Matt Cardona, I'm not gonna say what Nick Gage calls him, but a muscled up, tanned, pretty boy from the sports entertainment land that likes action figures.
Woo woo woo.
Yeah, woo 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 is not over with the GCW fan base. As when Matt Cardona won, straight up, you mentioned Bash at the Beach. We relived Bash at the Beach a little bit with the trash that was thrown in the ring, and
I wasn't even referring that on purpose. I literally just thought, hey, what if we did an NWO biopic? That would be epic.
Yeah, I know. That's what we call a happy accident. But I a lot of people were offended by this. A lot of people, including Dave Meltzer, was very offended by this and did not like it. But I'm going to hear what everybody else has to say before I give my opinion. CJ, what did you think of this?
What did I think of Matt Cardona winning?
And the storyline, the subsequent riot, and, all of that.
Not surprising that they rioted, but I don't know why they didn't expect it, because why would you want your champion to go on national TV and get pinned? Because we all knew that Jericho was going to win that match.
True. But I mean, I guess the GCW fan base would be more willing to forgive the champion to go on national TV and lose to Chris Jericho than lose the belt to Matt Cardona.
I get them being upset about losing to Matt Cardona. That probably would be unexpected. That probably would be like the equivalent of The Miz coming on AEW and beating Kenny Omega in 30 seconds flat. And there would be riots in the street. But I'm okay with it.
I think I'd just be laughing my ass off oh my god, did this actually happen? And yet I'm an Omega fan. I'd be like, did this just happen?
They just did that.
No, the riot would happen if it was to Hangman at this point, but we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later, yep.
Well,
I'm fine, really.
You're not fine. No, I think it's ultimately it's good for the company. I mean, everybody's talking about it now, and isn't that what you want as a promoter?
Oh, I agree, but you have
there's good publicity, and then there's what the fuck publicity.
Well, now everybody's going to pay double to watch him, die in the ring, which is what their promotion's all about.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Gage was dead.
I'm not trying to offend the fan base, but it's basically GCW bootleg ECW, I guess, or just a reimagining. Because for a while, I had heard of that name, but I just never knew who they were.
It's just kind of like it's not all just deathmatch wrestling. I haven't seen a whole lot of GCW because there is an abundance of deathmatch wrestling, which is not my thing in the slightest. There's people that can do deathmatch wrestling well, and Nick Gage is not one of them. to me. Come at me, MDK, and you're going to hear a lot more of that before this night is over. But you know, it's popular and it's a sensation, and Nick Gage is over, and Nick Gage has created something. To me, the thing that I like about GCW, or at least that I follow with GCW, is they always have like their themed show, especially WrestleMania weekend. That's where that is the company that helped promote Josh Barnett's Bloodsport and Joey Janela's Spring Break, and they'd kind of bring in like a very eclectic group of talent for shows like that. And that stuff I like, but just following GCW on a regular basis with more of the stuff being around death matches outside of the local deathmatch group that I go to because they bring in like usually some popular ECW guy that I like, and I have some cool local guys that have been on the show that work there in a non-deathmatch capacity. I'm not a deathmatch wrestling guy in the slightest, and therefore GCW would not appeal to me, but there's an audience there, and I mean, there's a rabid audience there. And there's a rabid audience there that doesn't like mainstream wrestling, especially cliche mainstream wrestling like Matt Cardona. And oh, dearie, dear, dear. Yeah. So. But I think it's good for GCW. I'm loving how Cardona is trolling and how he did an interview talking about the GCW universe and how much he loved Chelsea, and he was going to take the belt with him to Disney World, and then did take the belt with him to Disney World.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This sort of thing is it's the trolling to the maximum, and I'm here for it because it's funny for a fan base that claims they're so smart, and they're fucking real. MDK all fucking day. They're getting trolled and biting it hook, line, and sinker, and maybe they're just going along with it because they know that that's what makes. Maybe they're going along with it because they know if they buy into it, it will get more buzz, and if they just folded their arms and went, "Oh, this is the work. I'm not going to buy into Matt Cardona's bullshit," they know that would basically chop this storyline off at its legs. So maybe I'll give them credit. Maybe they're just biting into it because they know that creates the buzz. But I also may be giving them a little too much credit at that point. I don't know. Leave your opinion in the comment section below.
Now, personally, I guess again because maybe I don't get them, but I saw that and it just looked embarrassing. It's like, really, guys, of all the people you want to be upset over that he's a GCW World Champ because he beat your god Nick Gage, it's like, really? And when I heard the term riot, it's it was really just people throwing bottles at Cardona. It's like, that's what you call a riot? Really? I didn't see anybody trying to jump the ring and actually try to beat up Cardona. Firstly, you'd be the biggest douchebag since the guy invaded the AEW ring trying to punch Jericho, which turned out he followed me on Twitter, so I blocked his ass. But also second, it's again, really, this is the biggest issue you have is Cardona won a freaking indie title, and there was the riot, and it's oh my god, guys, really?
Again,
so he won. Okay, there's going to be an obvious rematch.
Again, it's just kind of the whole principle of he represents, to the GCW fan base, he represents everything that they're against.
It's
sports
not
entertainment.
Cardona
was
completely bashing the company before he made a sudden appearance to win this.
Yeah, the whole thing is Cardona to them represents, he's not a badass, ultra-violent, deathmatch, underground, dude. He is the epitome of sports entertainment, and that's what they're against. It would be the equivalent of, I'm not even going to say The Miz. It'd be like Baron Corbin coming in and just squashing somebody in AEW and winning the belt. It would be the equivalent of... It'd be the equivalent of Hulk Hogan going to ECW and winning the ECW world title. flies that much in the face of what they as a fan base believe in. And they're a rabid fan base.
That's good for them. Again, I don't know much about like the GCW fan base other than, well, your first impression that I've got is you throw bottles at people you don't like. So it's like, okay, but again, you don't want to be mad at them that it's like they made this. Like, blame on the promoters if they wanted to think, hey, let's have Mark Cardona as our GCW World Champion. Like, don't go after Cardona that he won this. Like, go after the people who wanted to make this happen. If you're that pissed off. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Just I'm
don't
on
know,
the
see-
vocal minority that I completely condone that behavior. That's like, that is not what pro wrestling fans should be. Like, the days of the hardcore ECW realm, it's long gone, but I'm glad there's still a little bit of a minority about like, hey, we still have some hardcore blood wrestling like that. It's like I love death matches, but again, I'm not one to watch it every single week because then it's going to lose its credibility. But when it is on, I think it's epic.
CJ, got any final words on this situation?
Not really.
Okay.
I think it is kind of important to note, though, for to date myself as an old person. The throwing things in the ring is a very old school wrestling thing to do,
Yeah.
whether it be good or bad. Now, like aluminum bottles and stuff like that, they try to avoid, but like old 70s, 80s wrestling things, if the fans didn't like it, you were getting something thrown at your head.
It meant
That's
you
the
did your
thing.
job well. And
Yes.
my final word on this whole thing is, I mean, I don't want anybody to get hurt, but like, still, as long as they weren't throwing batteries or, you know, rocks. I mean, like, read Freddie Blassie's book sometime to find out about the crazy shit that he got thrown at him, including shit. Yeah.
A legit backyard wrestling.
He wasn't backyard wrestling. He was
Mhm.
just people thought wrestling was
God.
real then, and he was just incited that much heat. But I do think that the one
So
thing,
so someone literally had time to go to the bathroom, take a shit, literally get that shit out of the toilet, and then run back to the ring just to throw it at them.
I don't think it was that involved.
Like, it's just sarcasm.
yeah.
Like, come on.
But I'm going to say this, and I take a little glee in this, despite me not being, a big GCW fan. Well, the storyline that like actually made people believe it was real, and everybody bought in hook, line, and sinker, and it got quote
It's
unquote
still real, damn it.
old school heat. The kind of angle that Jim Cornette would love. He had to deal with it being in a GCW ring and what he calls outlaw mud show garbage, in addition to AEW. So Jim Cornette could finally get what he wants, but would still find something to bitch about because he's fucking Cornette. But I take some glee in the fact that the thing he would like the most is in some place that he wouldn't like the most, even more than AEW. But speaking of AEW, it's time to light the fuse and bring the boom and talk Dynamite.
And yes, we're gonna skip Raw and NXT. We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good today.
yes,
But
we'll
too
start
much to talk about with Fight for the Fallen. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, and we're gonna start with Heartbreak. 10-man tag team elimination match.
Now,
The Elite
any-
versus the Dark Order and Hangman Page.
did
Hangman
anybody have
lost.
TV? Okay. Did anybody have TV issues during the Dark Order entrance? Because Spectrum was acting so weird to me.
Oh, other than us just kind of lagging behind everybody else, none.
Okay. It was literally being glitchy as if Peacock was trying to invade TV. So, nice try, Vince. But I switched over to like the Roku app and it was much better. So, get yourself some Roku, people.
I swear by the Roku, yeah. So, the Elite defeat the Dark Order. Hangman will not be getting a title shot, or so we think. This was a good match.
And Dark Order won't get a tag team shot.
So Lots of stuff to unpack here. It is a great match. Check out the match. I thought the match was well paced, well done, told a good story. Johnny was great. Actually, JR was actually a good commentator in this match, and hearing him say Johnny Hungy was like just made my day. And he actually stayed focused and didn't get off on tangents about fucking like food.
And I did laugh extremely hard that Nick missed the slam dunk. It's like, dude, you had one job.
But
like he had so much time to practice. And then after he did the slam dunk, he's like, that's what's supposed to happen. And then the crowd just goes, you still missed. You still missed. It's like good. That's the heel heat I love on the Elite. It's like, this is great. And doesn't help the fact that I actually am wearing a Young Bucks shirt.
Well, the downside is, so they've made a stipulation in a match that Fight worked perfectly. Okay. Might have to use a VPN and use Fight from now on. Easy. But
that's for international viewers.
That's why you get a VPN. That's why you get a VPN and say you're like living in Azerbaijan or something. I'm serious.
Azerbaijan, that's number one country you thought of?
Oddly specific.
Oddly specific because I was watching the first time I actually in one of the many YouTube channels that I follow. Here's my tangent. Guy was advertising for a VPN. He's like, here, let's make a post like we're in Azerbaijan. Hello, I am from Azerbaijan. And with NordVPN, you can get this and get 3 months free using the promo code this. So that's why when I think VPN, I think Azerbaijan.
Yeah, Azerbaijan. Yes, we are a European country. No, we're not going to show you where we are on the map.
But, okay, that's funny. You know what isn't funny? The fact that they lost. So that means at All Out, not going to be Hangman. And if it is
Hangman, so we think.
Well, okay. Now here's
on the bright side, we might have Hangman Omega at Full Gear. So there's that. Yes, we're gonna have to wait until November, but we'll see. I just think personally this opens up the door big time to who exactly is next.
CM Punk, probably, or Daniel Bryan.
Nope. Because once we get to that later, I'm literally checking the rankings right now to see who is next. Oh, and what do you know? They posted the rankings. So
I think it might be Christian.
The top 5 is Adam Page, which probably won't happen. There's Jungle Boy. We already saw that happen. Christian Cage might be a likely one. Darby Allin, unfortunately, that won't happen. And then there's Orange Cassidy. I would love to see a rematch of that.
Okay, actually. None of those are as hot as Hangman right now. None. 0. None of them are as hot as Hangman right now. And they're either going to do one of two things. Either A, they're going to squander Hangman at probably a crowd that would be very, very, very ready for a title change, or they're going to B, bastardize their stipulation, which is a pet peeve of mine with WWE. So, not a big fan of this call right now. I'm kind of in the boat of if you're not going to have maybe don't do this match if you don't tease Hangman to just go, ha ha ha, you're not getting that. That's a WWE move. Don't change the stipulations and make it whenever something happens, it means nothing because, again, that's a WWE move. So, I don't know. I don't, unless they really pull a bunch of stuff out of the hat, yeah, this is a bad call. This is a bad call. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, is it going to matter? Maybe not. But this was a bad call. This is something that when people say, like, ooh, really dropped the ball on this one. Yeah, you did.
I guess realistically, I do see possibly Christian Cage versus Omega at All Out. That's the biggest likelihood.
I mean, but is that... Do you really think people want to see that as much as Hangman? I mean, honestly,
They're-
I like Christian.
They're both undefeated in singles right now.
Do you
This
really
actually could be
think,
interesting.
listen to that crowd, do you really think that at the first big think about this, big pay-per-view, 2 years since Hangman Page failed, 3 years since All In, same building, crowd that helped start this revolution, do you really think they want to see Christian instead of Hangman? I'm not even trying to bash Christian.
Let's see. No, you're good. You're good.
But I think this
we'll see what plays out.
This was not because even if it isn't end up being Hangman, like they're gonna do something that I've for the last 3 years of doing this show have complained about WWE doing, and that is, oh, we're going to have a stipulation, but don't worry, in 4 weeks we're going to have another match rendering everything that you just watched useless. Like the countless Royal Rumbles that got rendered moot because someone lost their title shot, or someone had to get added to the title shot, or someone just whatever. Or in the case of Randy Orton, someone gave up their title shot and had to fight for it again. Less said about that storyline, the better. That's my gripe with it, is, you know, AEW has built their promotion on stuff truly having meaning and mattering. So it's like, you do one of two things. You either not let the match happen in Chicago when, to be honest, it's ready. The time is ready. You know, it's we need to. It's here. Or we go into, well, okay, but this stipulation didn't mean anything because we got to switch it to fit our storyline. Like, again, if WWE did that, we'd be saying that's kind of lame, guys. I don't know. That's my thoughts on the matter. CJ, what did you think of the call to have the Dark Order and Hangman lose?
John Silver doesn't get his title shot. And that's just as important. The Dark
Actually,
Order doesn't get a tag team shot.
Okay, just playing devil's advocate here. What if it's somebody from Dark Order getting an AEW title shot?
That's terrible.
No.
Okay.
That is a terrible idea.
That's all. That's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. That's it.
The only member of Dark Order that could fit in that role is unfortunately no longer with us.
That is true.
So, yep. So, I quoted Review Bra on Twitter. My disappointment was immeasurable, and my night was ruined. Yeah. We still had a whole other show to watch.
I still thought it was a great match. That
was a damn fine match.
Putting aside the stipulations, that was epic.
Oh yeah, it was a great match. It was a really good match. Well paced, told a good story.
There was one problem with the match.
What's that?
They kept cutting away from John Silver every single time. This first match back.
You'd think he was part of the AEW women's division with the way they wanted to go to picture in picture with him.
Don't even get me started on that soapbox.
So, all right.
Just to finally end this, though, Nick Jackson still missed. You still missed your slam dunk.
Wasn't the only thing that was potentially missed on Dynamite this week. Anyway.
And also, can people please stop trying to advertise about Space Jam? I really don't care anymore. I also do not care about LeBron.
Well, maybe that's why they put the Space Jam on the heels.
Oh,
we don't use
maybe.
I mean, they did that word on the show. They're bad guys.
They did work. They did work much harder than the Lakers did against the Suns. Only the sports fans could probably get that.
I like sports. I just don't like basketball, so you're lost on me.
LeBron lost in the first round to Phoenix.
Okay.
That's what you need to know.
We have an interview with Alex Marvez and Pac. Chavo and Andrade came in.
Ooh, Chavo.
I
So
actually
I
like.
missed that.
I'm kind of liking where they're going with this right now, having like Chavo and
Oh, yeah.
Andrade like trying to kind of steal the Lucha Bros away from Death Triangle. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of
I don't like
liking
this.
Chavo's part of the package so far. I'm digging this. Like I said, I'm getting some good. I'm getting a lot of Ric Flair, Mr. Perfect, Bobby Heenan vibes from that act right now. So we'll see where it goes. I'm definitely liking it a lot more than I did, when he just came out and Vicky Guerrero just came out and interrupted Mark Henry. So we have a celebration for Ricky Starks winning the FTW Championship. It was kind of.
I like the band. That was funny.
I like the band because Jake Manscout Manning was playing the trombone and got beat up by Brian Cage. But always good when you can get the Manscout on TV. Shout out. But then we have the big.
The one that I literally stopped paying attention to this entire show because this happened.
Hiroshi
Oh.
Tanahashi challenged the winner of Lance Archer and Hikuleo for the IWGP United States Championship. Unfortunately, this will not be happening at All Out. It'll be happening in New Japan, where the belt is sanctioned and all. But I don't have a problem with that.
Well, it's gonna be at a New Japan show in LA, so yay! But also, come on.
I just really hope that Tanahashi's part of All Out.
Give us Tanahashi. We need him for All Out, please.
Yeah, Tanahashi All Out would be great, and it would
Wait,
be now that
Tanahashi versus Omega, or no?
No, I think he's going to go against Moxley.
Yeah, okay, Tanahashi, because Moxley later on the show called out Tanahashi. So
yeah,
I think if they're going to have any match,
my heart couldn't take it. It's like, come on.
I wouldn't mind seeing that match. I just want to hear 10,000 people who actually know who Hiroshi Tanahashi is going, go Ace. Well, unlike my section of the audience at the fucking Garden, they're like, who's Ace? And shut up.
Well, at least 10,000 people did know who Okada was. So we have hope. I mean, I definitely heard a loud roar when people were like, "What the hell? Tanahashi's on our TVs."
Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested. I really do hope that Tanahashi wins the belt because I like Hiroshi Tanahashi. You can't see him because of the glare because the shine just comes off him because he's a once in a century talent. Yeah. But Tanahashi's behind me.
If we can't get Okada, I'll take a Tanahashi.
I'll take Tanahashi over Okada. I'm fine with that. I like Tanahashi more than Okada.
I'm Team Rainmaker. Sorry, Team Ace is cool, but Rainmaker. Let it rain.
So we go to the next match: Santana and Ortiz versus FTR. This match, something happened, and
I unfortunately wasn't paying attention because I was just scrolling through. I was still scrolling through Twitter. It's like Tanahashi is just said was on our TV, so I was still like distracted by that. But yeah, there was a very very bad.
He looked like and I also want to. I'm gonna go to Twitter real quick and read what Dax Harwood had to say.
Did he say something?
Yeah, and I think it's
Uncle Dax. Okay then. All right, let's see.
I can't find the whole. Yeah. It says, if you're messaging me or anyone for that matter to find out Cash's status so you can write it in your newsletter, fuck off. I thought I was going to watch my best friend bleed out and you want something to write about. So good for Dax to kind of stand up for that. But there is a picture on here, and it's gnarly. It is gnarly.
What exactly happened? Did he bounce his head off something?
It was his wrist. There's an exposed turnbuckle, and he sliced his arm. Bad.
Oh, fuck!
I mean,
oh, choose.
That is the picture.
I don't want to know the picture.
That's the picture.
Take it. Oh, Come on.
Yeah, so
Oh.
hopefully he's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely took away from the match.
Yeah.
I'm
I think it
hoping
looked
I'm
like
hoping they can wrestle. I'm hoping because both these are great teams. I'm really hoping they could wrestle
it kind of looked
again.
like they finished the match really quick after that. It's like, well, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of took away from it, but yeah. I don't know. Any thoughts from CJ on this one?
No, you covered it.
Covered it. All right, IWGP US Championship match: Lance Archer versus Hikuleo. I did not like this match. Did not like it. I like seeing Haku. Like, always cool to see Haku. And if you don't think it's cool to see Haku, he kill you dead. But
it's actually during the break we saw King Haku do some stuff on Archer. It's like, oh come on, we didn't see that on like live television. That looked funny. And good to see King Haku back.
I mean, yeah, I like King Haku,
and
but it's just yeah, this I think this match sucked. And it's not knock on Archer. It's just kind of like this. The chemistry wasn't there. Both guys tried hard, but I think this match sucked.
It was interesting that we heard the old Bullet Club theme being played because I was really hoping to hear "For Life," but I think we heard the old God theme actually.
No, that was that was the old Bullet Club theme, and if it would have played long enough, you would have heard AJ Styles referenced in it.
That's true.
That's how old it is. But before this match, Tony Schiavone made the announcement of August 20th, Rampage will take place at the United Center, and it will be called The First Dance. And they've kind of subtly, not so subtly hinted that CM Punk will be making his debut there. So it is time for another round of...
Or as Darby Allin said, he wanted to know who the best in the world is, and suddenly everybody in Charlotte and their ovaries just exploded.
Yeah. So now it's time for
That's a dream match I never thought I could think about. Is Darby versus Punk. Like, oh, okay. I'm listening. And I'm also contemplating, it's like, okay, so we finally were able to book the United Center, but we still have All Out being played all the way on the outskirts of Chicago. Like, I'm just saying, if you want to book more...
It was kind of a last-minute deal, though.
True, but it's like...
You know how hard it would take to just basically have for an arena to refund all their tickets to go?
I don't, no. I'm not saying, like, they should do that immediately, but it's like, you guys had this as a plan all along? What the hell?
I don't
think they had it as a plan all
along.
Yeah. But no, for real, it's like anytime any wrestling show goes to Chicago, it's always the Allstate Arena. It's like, why does nobody want to go to the United Center? It's bigger, it's closer to downtown.
It probably costs a lot more money to book.
And it's closer to downtown, and that's not the funnest thing to be in.
The first Dynamite was in Washington, Capital One Center, or Capital One Arena now. But, but I just find it a little bit odd, and especially for Rampage, because I'm pretty sure that the Dynamite for that week is in Milwaukee. I think, don't quote me on it. Or I don't know, maybe we'll get a Dynamite that I don't really know who's on that show today.
I mean, but this is a big deal because if AEW can get a good number at the United Center on only 3 weeks' notice, then we know the United Center, as much of a logistical nightmare as it might be, is probably going to be the new home for AEW in Chicago, at least for big shows.
That I would not mind at all.
And more seats. You know, we wouldn't have so many people waiting out in the cold for tickets. They've shown they own the Sears Center now, essentially. Like, not like literally own it, but like they own it when it comes to, you know, putting on an event. Now let's see what happens in the United Center. But if they lose their ass, who knows? But
true.
Which is why I'm thinking that
I did like the Wintrust Arena when Revolution was in town. That was actually a great arena.
But Yeah, that was the big news, and
Okay. AEW's in Houston on August 18th, and then they're immediately going to Chicago.
which leads me to believe they might be running 2 separate rosters that night.
Mm-hmm.
That's possible. I
Um,
thought that's what they're going for Dynamite is 2 different entities.
well, I'm hoping they don't do like a brand split like the WWE's been doing.
Oh,
But
please,
yeah.
no. We don't need a brand split in AEW.
But
And then August 25th, they're in Milwaukee. Okay, I got my dates mixed up.
yeah. So 6-man tag. We got Christian and Jurassic Express versus the Hardy Family Office. This was okay. Standard 6-man tag match. Christian sold his ass off with the brass knuckle shot at the end. Like, holy shit.
Like, good God Almighty, you killed him.
Kinda. But
Hey, glad to see that the Blade's back, or was it the Butcher?
the Butcher's the one that's
I'm
gone.
always kidding. Okay, the Butcher's back. Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, the Blade's who hit him.
I can't today.
Well, I couldn't during one of my
It's the
favorite
B guy. It's the wrestler that starts with the B.
B team. Bum, ba, bum, bum, bum,
No.
B.
If I
Well-
hear that damn song again, I'm hanging up.
Well, I'm not speaking of just can't even. I was not feeling well yesterday either, and I missed one of my favorite wrestlers' matches with Thunder Rosa versus Julia Hart. I went back and checked it out on the DVR. This was okay. I liked it because I like Thunder Rosa. Julia Hart's got a bright future, but I'm gonna let CJ talk about this one because something else happened on this one, and I'm gonna let that soapbox happen because we need a good way of introducing her to the audience.
I was like, what on earth are you talking about happened in this match other than like kind of a rocky finish? But it's every women's match gets a picture-in-picture or a cut to commercial break. I don't know if anybody else has ever noticed that about AEW, but they do that. In the history of AEW, there has been one women's match that has not gone to a picture-in-picture. And this does include the Lights Out match with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, DMD. And that's unacceptable. This one, a little bit more understandable because it was a perfectly fine match. I'm happy that this wasn't Thunder Rosa's like introduction to AEW crowds because it would have been a big disappointment. And I wish it kind of could have been better as her first official roster match, but it is what it is, and it did what it was meant to do. And
I'm just happy she's officially AEW. It's like, thank God.
I'm still holding out hope that she's at NWA Empower just because what she did for the NWA Women's Division, but I'm so happy that she's all elite and not going to WWE. That's for damn sure.
Yes.
Maybe.
I do have one perk though. If we're getting all these wrestlers getting regular songs as their entrance, like Jungle Boy, Tarzan Boy, Moxley with Wild Thing, why can't Thunder Rosa have Thunderstruck? Come on. You have the chant. You have the fans literally chanting "Thunder." Like that's. Why can't she have Thunderstruck, please?
Maybe she's not a fan.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like AC/DC? I hate this generation. You guys gotta listen to classic rock.
I mean, I agree, but I don't know.
That's just me.
We'll
in a
see what
perfect
happens.
world, Thunder Rosa would come out in Thunderstruck.
They could also want too much money for it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm hearing that might be an issue of getting the final countdown for Bryan Danielson. So we will see. We skipped over this. That's Daniel Bryan's theme, and Daniel Bryan is not his name now. So, we also got to mention this Malachi Black and Cody with a fun little brawl in front of TK and a nice sighting from Jerry Lynn. But the best part was just Fuego just getting a fucking kick. It's just like CJ, just say what you said watching the show.
It's okay. Fuego's not signed to a contract yet.
Yeah.
So he's not liability.
You're not liability yet.
It's fine. It's fine.
So-
We haven't booked him out.
Okay, so are they calling it a black mass or just a roundhouse kick when he's doing that? Or is it a new finisher move?
I haven't heard them call it anything.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
think.
yeah. Well, here's something that I
don't
don't
know
want
if
to
he-
call something that I don't want to call anything. Chris Jericho versus Nick Gage in a no rules match.
No, you got it wrong. AEW listed as the Painmaker versus Nick Gage. That's
Well, the only
I guess they
well, you know what? They're right. There was lots of pain made through this steaming pile of dog shit they call the main event. You knew this was coming. Fuck this match.
I know.
Fuck this fucking match.
Literally,
Fuck Nick Gage.
before we went on the air, we were gonna have different opinions.
Yep.
That's why you love us.
Fuck this match. Fuck Nick Gage. Fuck Light 2's being used in pro wrestling. Fuck all of this. Fuck Domino's Pizza. But fuck Nick Gage for making Domino's Pizza uncomfortable and possibly costing AEW some sponsorship money through his idiocy. Fuck all of this. Fuck everything about this match. I will say this much so, like, I can at least, before everybody comes at me on Twitter like, you don't understand, Nick Gage is over. Fucking you don't know what you're talking about, bitch. MDK all fucking day. You're right, he is over. This did serve a purpose. The crowd did like it. I'm just one guy. I'm outvoted. I will concede that point. I'm stating my opinion. Fuck Nick Gage. Fuck light tubes. Fuck the shards of glass that went into the crowd. And fuck this match.
Yes.
Am I the only one that actually just had fun with this match? I thought it was awesome.
No, you're not the only one. People liked it. I mean, I'll give it that.
Yeah.
Like, you have a right to like it.
And listen, about the Domino's thing, I was actually laughing so hard. It's like going to a commercial and then the first thing you see is Domino's. Like, oh, come on. They didn't do this on purpose, did they? But of course, they didn't know about the death match, and that's fine. But
well, it might it might cost them a lot of money in ad revenue, and
Maybe.
That's not good. That is not.
Can we just agree that, like, seeing Chris Jericho, who is 50, can literally do a Hurricane Rana on Nick Gage, and it goes through a glass, I guess, makeshift table. But it's like, to see him do that, that's actually damn impressive at that age. Like, and apparently I forgot what kind of glass they used, because I know I was talking to Michelle about this, and she was not a fan of death matches, and it was worried. He's like, is that real glass? It's like, I first thought it was sugar glass, but I think somebody said it was just like fake glass or something. I don't know.
That was it.
I forgot what it was, but also, hey, I love seeing the light tubes in a death match. I thought, again, this is awesome. So, but again, whatever like opinions you got, like, that's what your opinions are. I got mine. Would I rank this as one of the greatest death matches? Not a chance. But when we do our end of the year show, do not be surprised if this is in my top 10 or honorable mention, because I had fun with this match. Even if it was like short and sweet, I still believed it brought in the Painmaker out of Chris Jericho.
Well, the thing that actually did get me excited was the next Labor of Jericho will be based on a throwaway line from a promo 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago.
And apparently MJF got offended by it.
Juventud Guerrera in a top rope match. To win, you must hit a move off the top rope. And I haven't seen Juvi in a long time. I know I saw him, last time I saw Juvi was on Being the Elite, where he messed with Flip Gordon. And that's the last time I saw Juvi. So I've never actually seen Juvi wrestle in quite some time. It's going to be interesting to see Juvi again, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited for, like, the reference that this was to the past, because it was Chris Jericho that unmasked Juventud Guerrera in WCW. Super Brawl 1998. Check that out on Peacock because it's a great match. But yeah, like this has got me excited. Don't know what I'm gonna get with this match because we have two guys that are a little older, but I like what it represents. I like how they're getting. I'm very happy they're a lot more creative with um the past and like the with all of the different labors of Jericho. Like it's not just Pinnacle members, and like they're really not just gonna do Pinnacle members. So
I was
you know,
happy it wasn't just Pinnacle. It's like, oh my god, this is gonna be
Mhm.
annoying.
so now that we're getting Hoovy, maybe who knows? And the thing is, the one thing, and this is the one part where maybe I will give some credit to at least having a death match. You're getting a match that suits every incarnation almost of Jericho. You're getting, you got a match with Spears, so that was Le Champion. You got a death match with Nick Gage, that was the Painmaker. We're getting a match from the Lionheart era, so now we have like suit wearing Jericho and Y2J left, and
Oh, wait, I was gonna say, what about List of Jericho?
no,
That can be it. No, I guess not.
the whole thing's a list.
True. True. Okay, true. Wait, if we are getting Y2J Jericho soon, who would his opponent be then?
That's my thing. Like I don't know for sure if that's the direction they're gonna go in. For Suit Jericho,
You are kind of like sensing a theme here, so it's like
yeah,
it's definitely gonna be somebody from the past in WWE.
the suit wearing Jericho, you can maybe have Big Show.
Ooh. Maybe.
Because I'm trying to think, like I know Christian, because they had a match at WrestleMania, so that could be the Y2J one. But I mean, I also don't see Christian. I don't see Christian just doing something for MJF though.
Wait. What if just one night, Braun Strowman?
No.
Damn it.
No.
Well, I tried.
Keep Strowman away from AEW. I don't know. It'd be pretty interesting. I mean, the thing is, it's just like all the people that he was known for wrestling. Actually, who'd be a good Y2J one? And this one might actually happen. Ken Shamrock. Because that was his first. Because that was his first feud in the WWE. So Ken Shamrock does indie work. He's available.
I was gonna say, is he still fighting?
He's not. Yeah. He's still fighting UFC, or not UFC, but MMA. So yeah, so Ken Shamrock be going for Y2J, but like for suit wearing Jericho, I mean, a lot of the people that he was crossing paths with, well, they're kind of still under contract with the WWE. So, CM Punk is not somebody to bring in for just a fucking labor of Jericho. I'm not even a big.
Oh god,
CM
if
Punk
he was
fan.
a labor of Jericho, I'd be like, oh god.
Like I'm not a big CM Punk fan, but even I'll concede that. No, don't do that.
No. I do see. Oh god, I would love to see just one more Punk Jericho feud on AEW. It'd just be brilliant.
I'm kind of the opinion you got to get. I mean, they like for a little bit, again, kind of like what we talked about with Punk last week, where kind of use him in more of a Lesnar role and maybe have him get some wins over people that can afford to take the losses, like a Jericho, like a Cody, like a Christian at first, and then that way when Hangman or MJF or Kenny Omega beat him, it's like, okay, cool. Like these guys that really need the win against a name like that get it, but the people that didn't need it can pad Punk's resume so it's not like Brock Lesnar at the first part of his return where he was losing to fucking everybody.
I thought of another one, but again, under contract with WWE for the Y2J, Kevin Steen, also known as Kevin Owens.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Again, if only, but that's not happening.
The forbidden door that will never be open. But don't worry, WWE only sees AEW as competition like they see sleeping as competition.
That's right.
CJ, I know you want to talk about this article, and we'll close the show out on this.
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah. Yeah. So the other wrestling con says that he's not worried about AEW. They don't pay any mind to AEW. Everything is competition to them, even sleeping, which coincidentally, Raw puts 2-ish million people to sleep every week. So it's good that they look at that as their competition.
Mm-hmm. I'm literally turning the channel to sleep.
Man, I'm really going on Twitter. What did Vince say about sleeping? What?
Vince didn't say anything.
Oh,
So, I'm a nerdy math person. I'm a nerdy business person, to be honest. And because WWE is a publicly traded company, every quarter they do conference calls with press and stockholders. And every quarter, somebody asks Vince a question. He goes, "Oh, well, that's a really good question for Nick Khan to answer," because that's their new CEO. And he is the one that Vince brought in for 5 years to get the company prepared to sail. Personal opinion. But that was a direct Khan quote today in their press conference. I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, but I'm very, very excited to listen to all the crazy stuff he comes up with, because that's not even touching the tip of the iceberg with him. He's got a Vince-sized ego.
Worse or no? Is it worse than his XFL ego?
It kind of is.
I don't know. I brought that up because I was literally watching the XFL 30 for 30 over the weekend. That's just one of my favorites, because it's like, this could have been a good alternative football league if it wasn't completely WWF hyped up.
Oh yeah, I mean, hell, I love the new XFL, and before COVID ruined it, I fucking loved it. Battlehawks forever.
2020. The new date I've heard so far is 2023 at the earliest.
Okay, well, as long as the Battlehawks
so you'll get your
back.
Battlehawks back.
Well, tweet at The Rock.
Also, and I'm literally reading this off Twitter. This was from Sean Ross from Fightful.com. Vince McMahon on AEW. I'm not sure where their investments are when it comes to our talent. Perhaps we could give them some more. It's like, okay, wait, what? You want to give AEW more of your talents? Okay, you do you. I would like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Everybody else, fuck off. That's just me.
I'd like Samoa Joe, please and thank you.
No,
I'd like no one.
That rumor mill. He went back to NXT, so I'm good. Okay, I'll throw in Adam Cole, and then I'll be good.
I'll throw in. I don't need more people to keep Jungle Boy and John Silver out of the main event. We already got Bryan Danielson, CM Punk. So, but apparently we're not going to have Hangman. I'm still salty about that, but we'll see what happens. I mean, sometimes people in life aren't supposed to be happy.
Oh, here's another good reaction. Do you view AEW as competition? Vince McMahon. And the gift says, I don't know her.
Yeah, that sounds like Vince. But anyway, that is that's pretty much everything this week.
Okay, one final note, and then we'll promise to end the show. I finally saw the Nature Boy 30 for 30. And
what'd you think about that?
Honestly, that was impressive. And also, my first question was, how the hell is Ric Flair still alive after God knows how many drinking he's done? But also, very sad about Reed Flair. And, I guess because of that, I got way more respect for Charlotte to kind of, fill in the shoes and the void. But, it was still interesting. But it is difficult that some wrestlers do have a hard time trying to balance their fantasy with actual reality, because it just looked like Flair could care less about being a family man if he's literally just out there being the Nature Boy. So,
yeah.
And it was also weird to see Sting without face paint. I was like, whoa, jeez.
But the thing about that documentary that I remember the most is just how they really portrayed the TNA run of his as just like the worst, because it kind of was.
It
What?
was.
It was, but it's like,
They literally.
he needs the money too badly, and then like shows like a moment of him getting his clothes ripped off inside the steel cage. It's like, yeah,
I'm
you're
kind of
really.
surprised why they didn't want to interview anybody from TNA. Like, come on, you don't want to talk to. Literally, you only had Hogan and Sting as your closest TNA boys. You didn't want to talk to Kurt Angle or
I
Scott
guess.
Steiner.
Well, Scott Steiner would kill Flair if he had the chance. So,
But
it says in here, and
yeah, if
yeah,
they had ended with WrestleMania and then you cut to like the talk about Reed Flair, the less said about his TNA run, the better.
I mean, I get like the whole thing. The whole reason they brought it up was because of how he needed money and he needed to wrestle again because he couldn't quit being the Nature Boy even in retirement.
If he needed money with WWE, he could have been talent relations or a fucking trainer. Like, I don't know. I literally
he was
think
he wanted to be Ric Flair. He didn't know how to not be Ric Flair. You know what I mean?
Sounds like
the other
another
part of it was the money, and he liked being on air and liked being. He couldn't give that up. I think now he's finally at a point where he realizes he can give that up.
Just let Charlotte do all the work. But
and this will be the only time you will ever hear those words come out of EZ's mouth.
Yep. Yeah, basically. But it did kind of remind me a little. It's like, wow, okay, I guess I saw the movie The Wrestler kind of get some inspiration. I guess that goes for all legends where it's like, this is all I know what to do. So it's like, it is a little bit heartbreaking. So,
yeah.
You ever run into those legends, if you go to an indie show or something, just support them big time, because it's a shame that, if Flair actually retired, WWE literally could have sent him retirement funds or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, CJ will get into that a whole nother time because that's her area of expertise.
There you go.
But thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of pro wrestling, but from the world of comic books, gaming, anime, and all things geek culture. Follow me on social media pages, facebook.com/athleticgeeka9, Twitter, athletic_geeka9, Instagram, athleticgeeka9, and if you'd like to help this channel out financially, I am on Patreon, patreon.com/athleticgeek89. Be going to quite a number of shows this weekend. Hopefully, barring any unforeseen circumstances, I'll be at WrestleMax STL tomorrow and Cape Championship Wrestling on Saturday. Scott Hall will no longer be appearing there, but Deanna Parazzo and Eric Young will be there. So nice, maybe not as powerful on a personal level, Scott Hall, but definitely they pulled a rabbit out of the hat. And interesting enough, this is not the first time that Scott Hall has no-showed something and was replaced with Eric Young. Look up TNA in 2000. Look up TNA in 2007 if you would like to hear more about that. And also want to give a special shout out to Roger Mathis, who has been on the Geeking Out podcast. He is wrestling tonight at the OVW TV taping. Shout out. Congratulations, Roger. Kick some ass, my friend.
Woo.
And so social media around. CJ, I know you just got Twitter.
Oh, man. What is my Twitter?
What is your Twitter? I was going to look it up.
Yeah, what is my Twitter?
You tell us.
CJ Team0, like I said earlier.
Yeah, it is CJ Team0. That's what it is. I totally knew that. It was a test. You all failed.
Yeah.
What the hell were you supposed to know? You didn't even remember you on Twitter.
Because I just made it.
Okay. But you said it's CJ Team0?
Team0.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay. Congrats.
All right, and easy.
I'm your third follower. All right, guys. Follow me at Eric Zarens. Yes, it's my real name, but hey, keeping with character, I go by Easy. Shout out to the amazing Podcast Wrestling Federation. They are the most amazing people ever of just local podcasters, just having some fun with some wrestling. And coming November 6th, if you keep hearing about what the hell we were blabbing about, November 6th, if this bastard gets 200 subscribers by the time Full Gear arrives, I'm going to drink bubbly. So let's aim for 199, everybody. Let's do it. 199, because I don't want a drop of alcohol on my tongue. Why the hell did I agree to this?
Why the hell, indeed? And we're gonna end it on one note. This tweet just popped up on my timeline and says this: GCW runs hottest angle ever. Next day, all anyone is talking about is a Dave Meltzer tweet. AEW runs highly rated episode that basically says CM Punk is coming. Next day, the narrative is Domino's is pissed about death matches. The news cycle has gone insane. At this point, tweet number 2. At this point, I fully expect The Rock to appear on SmackDown Friday, and the next morning, all we'll be talking about is Vince got his hand caught in a sink like Junior Soprano.
Where are you seeing that from?
Just a guy popped up on my timeline because I follow AEW as a topic, but
Okay.
yeah.
While
that's...
we were talking, actually, Cash Wheeler put out a tweet, and he said, "We still won."
Okay, but he means he also might still be hurt, so hopefully he's okay.
I don't know. I just saw that, and that was it.
Well, hopefully he'll be okay, and we'll get to have FTR back in the ring very soon because love those guys. Love that tag team. Thank you, everybody who came and checked out the live portion of this. For CJ, Andy Z, for Nick who couldn't be here, but also, actually, I do need to let Nick did say about the Domino's deal. All the more reason not to let Nick Gage on TV. So there's Nick's contribution to the show. For them, I am the Athletic Geek. We're just marks and we're out. Have a good one. All right.